Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I don't have a joke for you today. We'll get right into it. Swamiji started off the class by talking about how we think that by getting a job, getting married, having kids, paying off a mortgage, buying a house, that my life's purpose is fulfilled, right? Because that's what everybody else is doing. I did it. I'm fulfilling my life's purpose. But this is a really, really big delusion because the person is not able to find peace. They're not able to dissolve pain, doubt, negativity. They weren't able to obtain clarity. They weren't able to obtain a place of rest where they could actually say, I am fully so satisfied in every moment that I experience. And they couldn't have the cosmic experience that this human body allows, and they didn't take on a guru. And for that reason, in the spiritual realm, doing all of these things that society wants you to do means absolutely nothing. It was earning nothing. Because why? Death is going to take it away from you, and then you're going to start all over again. What did you earn that death can't take away from you? And what did you earn that even death cannot be upon you? That is what is important. The human, you, me, everyone here, is capable of producing an ultimate limitless state. You're capable of producing it. But instead, you end up dying, having collected useless pebbles instead. Right? It's a big dishonor. It's a big tragedy that you weren't able to. I mean, not you guys. You still have the opportunity. You still have time. I'm not talking to you guys, but in general, humans die without having earned what they could have earned. So don't stop searching and honing yourself for the ultimate experience. And what I will say to you is find a guru in front of who your head naturally bows. There's a poem, and I really love this poem. It goes by, Mera sar jahan se na uth sake, mujhe aise dar ki talash hai. I'm looking for a porch or a door after which my head, once it bows, it doesn't come back up again. And I can tell you this from experience that when you find your guru, this happens to you. I've spent my entire life in a very logical, empirical system because that's how doing honors biochemistry, being in high school, math, sciences, this kind of stuff. It's a very logical, empirical system that you grow up in. And because of that, there's a level of ego that goes inside of you because you're self-dependent. You're able to question things. You're able to logically deduce things and whatever. But it's not satisfying. It's not that it gives you fulfillment or happiness. But I know that there were things that happened in my life, and that when I met Swamiji, there was, even though my ego didn't want to surrender, everything else was bowing. And it was a very interesting experience because I felt like I wasn't even in control of it. It was just happening. So this idea that your head, you need to find the guru in front of whom once your head bows, it doesn't want to come back up again. This has to happen to you for your journey to really, really start. Otherwise, it's frustrating. There's doubt and confusion about, am I doing it right? Why isn't it happening? What exactly am I supposed to do to get to God? You're asking other people who are blind. You're trying to figure it out yourself, and you yourself are blind, and you get nowhere. You do so much, but you get nowhere. And so Guru Maharaj actually talked about that today, how without the Guru, all of your efforts are in vain. So we start off with Bin Gur Par Mein Aave Jaye. Param, or delusion, means it's a deceptive appearance. it looked like something, but it ended up being something else. From far, it appeared like something, but it turned out to be something else. So I want you to imagine that you're in a desert, and all four sides of you, there's just sand and sand and sand, and the sun is hot and you're thirsty. But you're also very tired. So your mind isn't working very well. You're very sleepish. You see water in one area and you run because you're thirsty. When you get there, it becomes even farther away. So then you look in another direction and then you see water again, and then you run. And then it evades you. You do this for so long, and then you fall down because you're so tired. And then in a moment of grace, what does a moment of grace mean? It was supposed to be impossible for this to happen. But in a moment of grace, your sleepish state goes away and you realize, I've been running after an illusion. There's no water here. Because when you were sleepish, you just kept running after the water. You didn't learn that, oh, look, it's not actually water. But in a moment of grace, in a moment of impossibility, something happened. And in that desert, you realize, I'm running after, there's no water here. And that causes so much hopelessness inside of you. Because now what do? You're going to die. And in the distance, there's somebody watching. It's a desert native. And he's standing beside his camel and he's watching you. And now that you've fallen and realized there's no water, he's approaching you. He's approaching you and you see him approaching. And he gives you a little bit of water outside of his pouch, from his pouch. And you drink. Guru gives you a tiny experience and you drink. And you say, there's water? I can live? And the desert man says, I can tell you how to find it. And you're so hopeless. And you're so, first, now you're starting to be full of hope. But you're so frustrated that you ask this man, what is this place? Why do I keep seeing water, but it's not water? What is this place? And the man says, I'll tell you what it is. Follow me. I'll get you more water. So that person follows. That person, that desert man, is the guru. He knows what's happening. He knows what's in appearance. He knows where to get the real water. And he knows how to help that poor man. You need somebody that you can follow. And this class, whether it's this class or whether it's another moment, in a moment of impossibility, meaning it wasn't supposed to happen by the ratio, by majority, but you started to understand that the things I'm chasing in this life are not producing the results that I wanted from them. And now I need to figure out what's going on. And I need somebody with practical experience to tell me and to guide me. It's my personal experience and the experience of every enlightened being of past, present, and to be of future, that only an alive master can remove your doubts. Only an alive master can do it. Somebody else has to do it. Because if you try to get yourself out of this place yourself, it's the same thing as you trying to lift yourself off the ground with your own hands. Can you do that? Can you lift yourself off the ground with your own hands? It's irrational. It's stupid. Only somebody else can lift you up. So, and it's also my opinion that those people that have a hard time believing and surrendering to a saint just have not had the experience of finding that saint. Because it's impossible that if you find that saint after whom you bow to and your head doesn't want to get back up, it's impossible to not believe in the system of surrendering to someone. So those people that have a difficult time believing in this, I find that it's sad because they have not found someone who could have incited this within them. So pray, right? Do ardas, do prarthana, that this magic happens to you. Even someone who learns how to fix punctured tires learns from somebody. They let their ego go and they learn from somebody and they appreciate that person for teaching them. But it's so interesting that one who gives you anand, clarity, peace, we hesitate to even give them credit, let alone call them guru. Because how can I bow down to another human being? Right? And then Swamiji talked about Michelangelo and his famous sculpture, David. What the guru does is he takes raw material, you, and he carves out God, the sculpture of God from you, because it's in there. So what Michelangelo was doing is he's walking by and there's a shopkeeper who was trying to get rid of this big block of stone. It was useless, ugly, misshapen. Get rid of it. It's hard to break, whatever. Michelangelo sees it and says, no, I want this. The shopkeeper says, take it, please. It's just taking up space in my shop. What Michelangelo does is he carves. Just carves. Just removes stuff. And what was already present in that block appears. Only because he was adept at making it appear. Michelangelo made it appear, the shopkeeper couldn't. And what appears is what in the world naturally is considered one of the most beautiful sculptures of all time. David appears. And now when the shopkeeper sees that same block of stone, he says, I could sell everything I own and I still couldn't afford something so beautiful and so pristine. That's what the guru does. Jin manaste devte kiye kartana lagi baar. He carves what's already there. He's just going to remove the extra stuff. But only the guru can do it because he can make the right thing appear. Lots of people can carve stone. They'll just end up making it something else out of it. The adept one. You need the adept one to carve you. Then the beautiful sculpture of God appears. Think about it this way. Someone who sold roasted chickpeas for a living had no parents, no one to look after them. Their own relatives wanted to get rid of them. No status, no career, nothing. No money, no house. Selling roasted chickpeas to get by. This was Pailana Ji. And when they met Guru Amar Das Ji, they became the guru at whom over 300,000 people come to their feet every day. They became such a great king because Guru Amar Das Ji knew how to carve out God from there. So someone who sold roasted chickpeas can become God themselves. Why don't you rise up to your potential? Why do you put on this facade that I'm not good enough? I have inferiority complexes. You keep going into the state of mediocrity, lowliness. You have God potential, but you choose to live like you're nothing. This is a major disservice and dishonor to yourself. It's so interesting that we hurt most those that want to deliver us to our ultimate state, that want to deliver us to peace and joy, to the greatest. And we hurt them the most. Why? Because to be delivered to the greatest, you have to lose yourself. And the hit on the ego is so traumatizing that a person can retaliate enough to kill the person that was trying to deliver them to the greatest experience. And we've done this in the past. We do it today. We'll continue to do it in the future. There's only few diamonds that resist this temptation to retaliate when their ego is hit, that finally do get delivered to the greatest. We've heard Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, Sarmad, Mansoor, Jesus. Bulleh Shah goes on to say, I'm tired of this, right? Let's go to a place where blind people live and no one recognizes me. Because when I speak the truth, people hit me with stones. And if I don't speak the truth, then what's the point of speaking? But still, saints have the heart where they'll take on pain, death, ninda, all of this stuff, so that at least those diamonds that have the capability, they can at least be delivered. So what if the world kills them? Kabir was killed, multiple attempts at killing him. Almost every Bhagat had multiple attempts at being killed. Most Bhagats get poisoned. Most saints get poisoned because someone is jealous of them or someone doesn't like them. This stuff happens. And it's such a sad tragedy that we kill them because we can't take them, trying to get rid of our ego. Without a guru, the human is prone to death and life over and over again. They find no place of rest, right? So, bin gur par main aava jaye, bin gur kaal na pavai thai. This is that Bhakti I was talking about at the beginning, that all of your efforts seem like they're not directed in the right way. You're doing a lot, but you don't have the right direction. So the payoff is not there. And that lack of payoff is creating frustration and doubt in the whole process. Even if you work hard, all effort without a guru, it doesn't bear the right results. Bin guru manua at dolai. Without a guru, the mind keeps wavering because there's no clarity. There's so much, even if you're on a spiritual pathway and you're doing a lot, but you don't have a guru, there's a lot of confusion because nothing is happening. There's moments that things happened and you try to chase them and then they never come back again. There's so much frustration. And this is what ends up happening in all of this confusion and frustration. If it goes on for long enough, the person starts to feel like maybe I'm just not meant to have it. And this opinion that you make of yourself, maybe I'm just not meant to have it, is your biggest sin. You have never sinned more than when you came to this conclusion about yourself, that maybe I'm just not meant to have it. This is your greatest downfall, your greatest sin. You gave up on yourself. This is real suicide. Not letting go of the body, but the fact that you just gave up on yourself because there was confusion and frustration along the way. Naturally, but that's what happens without a guru. You accepted darkness, ignorance, you put yourself so low. The sun was shining, you just had to open your eyes, but now you just think that maybe I'm just blind and I'm not meant to see the sun. You're not blind. Your eyes are just closed and you need someone to open them in the right way. Here's the Sakhi of Guru Amar Das Ji, which all seekers can relate to. They're 60 years old, and for 31 years, they've been going to Ganga, Haridwar, doing everything you're supposed to do. Like they're doing everything they're supposed to do, reading the right stuff, doing the right things, going to the theatres, meeting saints, loving the saints, but no ultimate state of peace, frustration. Why haven't I found, you're supposed to do all this. Why haven't I found God yet? And so, a moment of grace dawns, and there's at a pind called Maulana Pind, and they're just lying down. From a distance, there's a Pandit Brahmin walking, and he sees their feet. And he reads their feet and says, you, in a short amount of time, are going to become the king of the world. You have Badshahi written in your lines. And Guru Amar Das thinks, really? Well, I mean, if God wills, that'd be great. Hey, you know what? Since you just told me that and read my lines, why don't I give you something in return? And the Brahmin Pandit says, no, not yet. Sits down and says, by the way, who's your guru? I mean, you have Badshahi in your lines. Who is your guru? And Guru Amar Das Ji says, guru? What do you mean? I don't have a guru. I mean, I've met a lot of saints, but I haven't committed anywhere. I just, you know, do what you're supposed to do. I go to the mandirs, I do the tirthas, I read Dharam Shastras, I meet saints, and I love them. I listen to them, but I haven't committed anywhere. I don't have a murshid or a guru. And the Pandit says, you're a nigura. Did you know just by seeing somebody who doesn't have a guru, that's a sin? And I've sat with you and talked to you. Now I have to go wash myself, rid myself of this filth. I'll see you later. And Guru Amar Das Ji is just shocked, floored. Are you kidding me? I spent 31 years doing what you're supposed to do as a religious person. I am so tired because I'm frustrated nothing's happening. And I'll keep doing it. But you're telling me all of that means nothing? Just because I don't have a guru? They're shocked, they're floored, their ego is hit. They're more sensitive right now. They're more aware right now. So look at what happens. This haunting thought that I don't have a guru, so none of my efforts actually meant anything. It haunts them day and night. They think, where do I find a guru? How am I going to know that they're my guru? Where do I look? How am I going to look somewhere? Where do I go? Eventually they come home. And sometimes their daughter, who's been married, she's at home sometimes, and in the morning she'll read Bani. And Guru Amar Das Ji has heard this Bani before, but it's fallen on unconscious, unaware, deaf ears. But today they're shocked. They're more sensitive. They're aware. And when they hear this Bani, they feel at ease because they've been so at dis-ease for some time that they hear this Bani and they feel at ease now. And they ask their daughter, Beta, whose Bani is this? Where did you learn it from? And the daughter says, I learned it from my mother, who learned it from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who current position, so she's talking about her mother-in-law, who currently in their place resides my father-in-law, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And Guru Amar Das Ji thinks, I want to meet them. It's almost as if they have never met them before. Because right now, they're searching for a guru. It doesn't even occur to them that that's their in-law. They've seen them before. And then Guru Amar Das Ji says, can you arrange a meeting? I want to meet them. I want to see them. And the daughter says, you know what? We'll go right now. So they go to Guru Angad Dev Ji's darbar, and daughter says, why don't you wait right here? I'll go inside, check, if they're free to talk, whatever. So the daughter goes inside and says, Guru Maharaj, my father's come to see you. Is it okay if I bring him in? And Guru Angad Dev Ji knows what's happening. He says, absolutely, bring him in right now. And Guru Amar Das Ji goes in today with folded hands, an arched back, and with tears in their eyes, because the first thing they say is, I'm a Nigura. And I need a guru. I want to become your shish because I heard your Bani and it gave me so much peace. And that Brahman Pandit had told me that just by seeing somebody or listening to them, if it gives you peace and you're at ease, that'll be your guru. So he comes in and he bows. Because he's so sensitive and so aware and his ego is so low right now, it doesn't occur to him that this is their in-law, their daughters, where their daughter has been married, which typically in cultural sense is supposed to be lower than you. But today, none of that matters because the shock of being a Nigura was so strong. Guru Amar Das Ji had met Guru Angad Dev Ji before, but the reverberations had not penetrated them. Right? We often tell people, seekers, if you sit near a sant, you should be able to feel bliss and anand. Well, that should have happened with Guru Amar Das Ji having met Guru Angad Dev Ji before. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't they feel anand at their darshan or at their words before? Because even though it's true that a real saint reverberates peace and anand, if you have too much ego, your sensitivity is going to be so low that you will not pick up on them. Sensitivity as a seeker, you also need to be sensitive enough to pick up reverberations of bliss from another human. And your sensitivity is high only when your ego is low. That could be from a tragedy, that can be from some type of shock, that can be from some type of om tapasya with your grace. So when your ego is low, your sensitivity goes up. And then you can pick up that I feel anand in this person's presence, and this is my guru, so forth and so forth. And so Guru Amar Das Ji becomes Guru Angad Dev Ji's shishya, disciple, Sikh, and they spend 12 years traveling 3 to 4 kilometers, getting water, heating the water, making sure that the bath is ready for the guru, making sure that there's enough water to wash clothing, to use in the kitchen. They were responsible for making sure that there was enough water in the vicinity. And that's a tough task to do. And so they did this for 12 years. The great thing about Guru Amar Das Ji in those 31 years is they were very action oriented. They were not somebody who sat around and be like, yeah, one day we're going to meet God. I'll just keep listening to this, but I won't do anything. They're very action based. And so even after meeting Guru Angad Dev Ji, they still remained very action based. Their seva was very tough, but they still did it for 12 years, water seva of Guru Angad Dev Ji's. And they became enlightened. They became the king of the world. And so once they had become the guru, at Govindwal, that same Brahmin Pandit that had left them came. And the Brahmin Pandit asked, do you recognize me? Do you remember me? And Guru Amar Das Ji says, not only do I remember you, I also know that I have to give you something still. And the Pandit says, well, yeah, I remember. You do have to give me something. And Guru Amar Das Ji says, I am so happy today that I'm ready to give you whatever you'd like. Ask me for anything. And the Pandit starts to think and he says, I'm having a little bit of a doubt as to what I should ask for. You see, if I ask for money, it destroys my inner world. But if I ask for freedom and mukti, it's going to destroy my outer world. Y'all know people that walk this path have a very flimsy type of bivha. So he's like, I'm not really sure what to ask for because of this. And then Guru Amar Das Ji says, well then, I guess I'll have to give you both. I'll give you both. I'll give you what is going to fix your inner and outer world. You don't have to worry about it. That's why Palle Amar Das gun tere teri upama tohe bana aaga. Bin gur tripat nahi bikh khaye. There is no satisfaction, no fulfillment. You know when in the moment you just feel so like, I'm so happy and full right now? There is not that feeling. It's fleeting if it comes, but it doesn't stick around. Tripat nahi bikh khaye. And what you end up doing instead is you end up eating all the poisons of the world and slowly killing yourself. Bin gur bisiyare. Oh, hold on, I gotta read this one here. Bin guru bisiyare dasa marvat. Without a guru, venomous snake of Maya continues to bite you, and you slowly die, and you are prone to this painful cycle of death and birth, death and birth. And in this sleepish state, you keep doing the same actions every life. Oh, become a child, learn, listen to your parents, listen to your friends, do what they tell you to do. Oh, get a job, make money, get married, have kids, get old, then die. You sleepishly, you just keep doing this every life over and over again. And along the way, you suffer for it. Nanak Guru bin kaate kaat. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that without a guru, there is only loss. Inner and outer, there is only loss. Jis gur milya tis par utara. But for the one who meets their guru, they get delivered to the greatest shore, to the greatest other side. Avgana meta gunanisatara. And what a guru does is they rid you of those qualities that are being obstacles on your spiritual pathway, and they bless you with divine virtuous qualities. But let me tell you, one of the most amazing virtuous qualities that a guru actually gives you. You keep telling yourself, I'm not pure enough. I'm not good enough. I'm going to do a lot of sadhana, then I'm going to become pure, and then Vaheguru, you can come to meet me. So conditional. You don't think Vaheguru wants to come meet you right now? He's already there. But your ego puts on this condition. Hold on. Let me get really pure, then you can come meet me. This is not your humility talking. This is your ego talking. Because you still have to do something. You have to do it, then God will come meet you. You're still hard. You're still rock-like. You're not melted yet. But this is what the Guru tells you. The Guru says, okay, do what you have to do, but why do you keep saying that you're impure? Why do you keep saying that you're sullied? Let that go. Kirpa karo deen ke daate, mera gun avganana vicharo koi, mati ka kya topa Swami manas ki gat ehi. Trying to make yourself pure is like trying to wash a mountain of dirt. It's not going to happen. Why don't you let go of your ego and tell God that I am the way I am, good or bad, pretty shit, but still come to me. If I could go to you, I would have, but I can't. So you come to me. And I look like this, I am like this. Please, mera avguna na bicharo. Why write this in the first place? Don't consider my faults. That is when you melt. When you're able to say, yeah, I'm like this, but I still want you to come. So this is the biggest quality, the biggest virtuous quality that your guru gives you. They really hit your ego in places that you don't even know it exists. In places you think that it's actually humility. In places that you think that it's actually a good thing. There is still so much ego hidden right there. The guru hits you there. Such a big shortcut. This virtuous quality. Don't have this ego that you're going to become so pure and then God can come meet you. Why even this condition? Who are you to put this condition on it? Mukta Mahasukha Guru Sabda Vichar. And with the Guru, the most supreme teachings are given to you that you're the cosmic Brahm. You're not impure. You're not sullied as you are right now. You are consciousness. You just have to step back. You don't have to keep working on this mound of dirt. You just need to step off of the mound of dirt. Yes, there's a little work that you should do, which the Guru makes you do, but you just need to step back a little bit. Here's a shortcut. Forget it. Krishna tells Arjun, Gehna karmanogati. They say, if you go into karma, it's not going to end. It's so deep, so entrenched. You're never going to be able to sort it, Arjun. You just need to step back. And what happens? Mukta Mahasukha Guru Sabda Vichar. When the Sikh contemplates their Guru's teachings, they get Mahasukh, which is the ultimate freedom, ultimate joy, Mukti. Gurumukh Kadena Avehar. The Gurumukh never feels like that they've lost, that they've failed, that they haven't succeeded. There's no hopelessness, there's no sadness, there's no disappointment that I didn't achieve what I was supposed to achieve, because you did achieve what you were supposed to achieve. You blossomed, you bloomed, you're so alive. Swamiji keeps giving me faces. They're proud, but it's a little bit like Tan hathadi eho man ban jara. The body is a shop or a store, and the mind is the shopkeeper. And what you're trading here is truth, clarity, reality, and anand. The body is a temple, and the mind is the priest that resides in the temple. And this priest is earning. What is it earning? From their guru, they're earning right listening. And then from that, right contemplation. And then from that, right meditative practice. And with all of this, doing it in divine love, doing it out of not the ego, but love. And one day we'll talk about bhakti in real depth, because without bhakti, this isn't going to happen. So, Surya Manya Man Kita Pao Antargat Tirth Malanao. And what does that seeker then do? They wash themselves in Brahmanand.
This is the business.
This is the business that you're supposed to do. Aap japa aur naam japa. This is the business. Right? You wash yourself in this Brahmanand, which is, Brahmanand means an expansive ecstasy, an expansive bliss. Nanak sahaje sach vapara. And very naturally, you start to deal in this trade of truth. Why so naturally? Because when you live with your guru long enough, when you stay with your guru long enough, your personality changes, your person changes, your tendencies change, your habits change, your mental thinking patterns change, and you actually naturally start to deal in trade in truth. You think about truth. You walk in truth. You want to know what it is. You keep contemplating who's the knower. And then you have tons of experiences. But it becomes you. It becomes naturally easy because your personality's changed. One difference I wanted to make here was the difference between Sach and Satya. Many times when Guru Maharaj writes Sach, they actually mean Satya. Sach means truth. Satya means reality. For example, if I tell you this is an eraser, I'm telling you the truth. This is an eraser. But is it actually an eraser? I can only know this eraser by the photons that hit it and return to my eyes. I can touch it. But the only way that I know this eraser is through my senses. I don't actually really know this eraser. I can't penetrate it. I can only figure it out from the outside, collect that information, and deduce something about it. So even though I'm telling you the truth that it's an eraser and not a pencil, in reality, it's not even an eraser. So this is the difference between truth and reality. Satya means reality. And here's the very interesting part about virtual worlds. This is a virtual world, right? Virtual means that you're accessing information about it through your senses. You're not penetrating the world. You're just collecting information about it, like a video game. You don't penetrate the video game. You just collect information about it. You're shown information and then you walk in it, right? Here is the distinctive quality about virtual worlds. They can be true, but they cannot be real. They can be such, but they cannot be satya. There is only one thing that is both true and real. That is Brahm, the objective, fundamental reality behind the virtual world, in which the virtual world is happening. That fundamental reality, which is God, which is Brahm, only that is both true and real. So this is, if you've ever wondered the difference between truth and reality, this is that distinction. And what we have to get to is the reality of the world. We have to wake up from this dream so that we can be delivered to the greatest. And you can do it. You have every potential. In fact, you have more potential than many of the enlightened beings of the past. Your starting position is higher and more conducive than theirs was. So you can do this. Don't commit the sin of thinking that maybe it's not meant to happen to you. Screw any other type of sin. It's nothing compared to this statement that you make about yourself. So go out to search, become more sensitive, lose your ego, find someone who you can surrender in front of, and then go hard. Go find it. Don't waste this life. You can do this. The night is coming for all of us. Night meaning death. You have to find your life's purpose before the sun sets on your life. You have to do it, and you have to do it in this lifetime. You can't wait anymore, because who knows if you'll even remember this stuff in your next lifetime. There's no guarantee. So go find it. Do what you have to do. Wish you the best of luck. Please forgive me from, actually, who am I to give you wish you luck? We're all in the same boat right now. So let us all be delivered to the greatest. Please forgive me for my mistakes.